Welcome to another edition of the 2023 version of the 30 to 1 MLB Countdown Previews, brought to you by the Passball Show and JohnPielli.com. Today we're talking about the Tampa Bay Rays, the team that has been in Major League Baseball since 1998, has made it to the World Series twice in 2008 and then again in 2020, losing both times to the Phillies and the Dodgers, respectively. For those of you that haven't followed the team previews that I've done over the past 12 years, I take a look at all the over-unders for all 30 major league teams, come up with my own projected win total, and then I rank them in order from 1 to 30, 1 being the highest, 30 being the least amount of wins, and then I start my previews in a descending order, starting with the team I think is going to have the worst record. So the Rays last year lost several players, including Ji-Man Choi, Kevin Kiermaier, David Peralta, who they picked up at the trading deadline, catcher Mike Zunino, Corey Kluber, Brooks Raley, Ryan Yarbrough, Matt Wisler, J.P. Firenson, and J.T. Charzois. They brought in Zach Eflin on a surprising 3-year deal. I think he does help them out, and I think he's probably a pitcher that is ready to come into his prime. But I look at the Rays, and you got to love their starting pitching from last year. Shane McClanahan and Drew Rasmussen, Jeffrey Springs were probably most underrated 1 through 3 in all Major League Baseball. They replaced Kluber with Eflin. I think if you get a maximum Eflin, he'll be up there with what you got from Kluber last year. Bottom of the rotation is going to be pretty interesting. Yanni Carrinos, Luis Patino, Josh Fleming. And all in all, the Rays have done a good job really running a 4-man rotation with an opener, and it's worked for them over the past couple seasons. When it comes to their relief, Peter Fairbanks, if you give him a full season as the closer, I think you're going to see closer numbers. He's got the ability to strike out 100 batters in 60-something innings and is really a force to be reckoned with. Jason Adam was pretty solid for them last year. Jalen Beeks can kind of be a long reliever, short reliever, spot starter for them. They got Poche, who was pretty good for them last year, not great. And a couple guys in on minor league deals, Kyle Crick and Ben Heller. I think they're worth taking a look at because if you look at what the Rays have done with relievers, they've taken a handful of journeyman type of relievers and really gotten the most out of them, turned them into really effective pitchers that get a lot more strikeouts than innings pitched and really serve the role that they're looking to do. You look at Ryan Thompson, you look at Sean Armstrong and Colin Poche. I think they're examples of pitchers that are just kind of put into the right type of position. Brooks Raley with them last year, was picked up, I'm not going to say off the scrap heap because I think he was very valued by the Astros, but he's traded to the Mets, and the Mets are looking like they got a really good middle reliever. I don't think the Rays pitching staff is going to be a big deal. I think it's going to be good. That's not going to really hold them back in any way. When it comes to their offense, I don't believe they have a lot of power. And it's not like they had big power hitters that they let walk away. They've taken pride in a brand of baseball that is a lot of contact, a lot of guys on base, pushing runners in, pushing runners over, and really not having a best player in the lineup. I mean, they have one star, and that's Randy Arozarena, who is on full display in the World Baseball Classic. Wander Franco is, I think, a guy that has a chance to be a 30-30 guy as an everyday shortstop. He's just 21 years old. Outside of that, it's a bunch of here, there, maybe guys they get from anywhere. Jose Siri, they got from the Houston Astros last year. Manuel Margot came over, was a one-time top prospect with the Red Sox, has stuck around with them a couple of years. Harold Ramirez, they got off the waiver wire. Francisco Mejia, one-time top prospect as a catcher. They're believing a ton in. Christian Betancourt was out of the major leagues for a couple seasons. Now, what the Rays do better than anybody else is they get the most out of these guys. There's a system in there that's working, that's getting the most out of these players. But a lineup that is something like Jose Siri, Franco Arozarena, Yandy Diaz, Isaac Paredes, Harold Ramirez, Manuel Margot, Brandon Lau, Francisco Mejia. I don't know. That's not scaring a ton of people. And you look at the likes of the Yankees and the Blue Jays in the same division. Now, listen, every year, like clockwork, they go out there and they have almost 90 wins. And they're right in the mix when it comes to the playoffs, usually making a run in the playoffs. Like I said, only a couple of years ago, they were in the World Series. So this is a team that I don't think does it with mirrors. I think they do it with a great system. But I'm having a hard time getting behind them and believing that the squad that's put together right now is any better than what we saw last year. Now, they won 86 games. They got the third wild card spot. Then you get further than that. Now, that happens in baseball. You go out there, you win your 86 games, get to the playoffs. It's a good season. And anything is possible once you're in there. But I think they have kind of gotten this mentality that they don't need any of the players that they got. At some point, it's going to catch up with them. You know, if you look at their top prospects, I think their most ready prospect is Taj Bradley, who's their number one overall prospect, a right-hand pitcher, was their fifth-round draft pick in 2018. He had a 2.57 ERA, 141 strikeouts. I think if there's an injury or an opening, I think that they're going to give him a little bit of a crack at it. Curtis Mead, a third baseman and second baseman, was a 20 last year, had a 922 OPS in AA and AAA. Carson Williams, who was a first-round draft pick in 2021, number 28 overall, hit 19 home runs in A-ball. Kyle Manzardo was a first baseman they took in the second round in 2021, hit 327 with a 1.043 OPS and 22 home runs over high A and double A. And Junior Caminero, an infielder, just 19 years old, had 11 home runs in 63 games in rookie league and A-ball last year. So, you know, whether it's Bradley, maybe Mead, maybe Manzardo, I don't know if there's really too much on the farm that you're expecting to come up here and dominate. There's not a Wander Franco in the minor leagues ready to just come up and contribute. Now, the question is going to be, if the Rays are doing what the Rays have been doing the last couple seasons, is their front office and ownership, do they have the balls to go out there and make that extra move and put them over the top? Or are they going to continue to try to turn a profit? Are they going to take a player on the end of a big contract and eat that money to make a run at a World Series championship? That's what I want to see. I want to see the Rays, if they're in the mix, to do what a winning team does. Go out there and add those extra chips without trying to play friggin' Monty Hall and make a deal. When it comes down to it, listen, I like the competition in the American League. I like the competition in the American League East. I think the Rays are going to be right there. I like them. I like the Orioles. I told you, the Rays and the Red Sox are going to determine how the rest of that division works out. I think the Red Sox are going to do good. I don't think that bodes well for the Rays. So when it comes down to it, I look at the Tampa Bay Rays, and if you're telling me to give a record for this coming year, I have them in last place. I have them with a 78-84 record. I have them hanging in there, beating the Yankees, beating the Blue Jays here and there, giving every team they play a hard time. But every year is not supposed to be their year. And I think they're going to take a step back. They got the 19th most wins in all Major League Baseball as I look into the future of my 30-1 MLB Countdown previews for this year. If you're interested in any more of them, maybe if you're a Rays fan, you don't want to hear from me anymore. But if you would like to hear any more, we got the rest of the 31 MLB Countdown previews on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, of course, videos on YouTube. This is John Pielli, host of the Past Ball Show. God bless you. And as always, I'll see you on the other side.